So we continue in the 2025, we are looking at section B now. So B1 there says, there are various challenges caused by chemical industrial activities. And the question says, state one challenge caused by chemical industrial activities on the land. So what are the challenges that are caused by chemical activities on the land? Yeah, basically chemical activities, release. In most cases, they produce chemicals, and those chemicals, when they are actually released, they cause, land pollution, or it actually contaminates, the soil. So we can simply say, causes land pollution, through, soil contamination. So the soil is actually contaminated. Yeah, so that results in pollution. Then A2 says, suggest a method you could use to minimize the challenge you have stated. So how can we reduce, the land pollution through soil contamination? So what we can simply to do is simply, proper treatment. So you can actually treat the chemicals, neutralize them before releasing them, or into the soil or something. So that is what you can do. So proper treatment of maybe we can say waste material before disposal. So before you can actually dispose of them, so they can actually be properly be treated. So that is basically what we can do on that. Then B says the models labeled A, B, C are three states of matter. The melting and the boiling point of substance E are also shown in the table. So if you notice there, they have actually, so I will say MP and I will also say BP. So the melting point of substance E is simply negative 114 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point is simply 79 degrees Celsius. So that's what they tell us. Now if you look at it, anything between the melting point and the boiling point, it simply means that it will be in liquid state. If you go below the melting point, it simply means that you're in solid state. And if you go above the boiling point, it simply means that you are in gaseous state. So that's what you need to remember. So if you look at the states there, C is a gas, this one B is a liquid, and A is representing a solid. So in actual sense, A should have been, if the below that should have been a solid, liquid should have been in between, and the gas should have actually been C. Now let's notice what the questions there are simply telling us. The question there says, which model represents the state of substance E at a temperature of pure melting ice? Now pure melting ice, at a temperature of pure melting ice is actually at 0 degrees. That's what you need to remember. So at pure melting ice, so it is simply talking about pure melting ice. So if you look at pure melting ice, since the the melting ice, pure melting ice, the temperature is at 0 degrees. Where is 0 degrees? 0 degrees will be found in between there. So it is supposed to be in liquid form. So it is going to be, the model is actually, B there that we are going to have. Then a temperature of, pure boiling water at sea level. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. There it's at 100 degrees Celsius. So if you come back here, 100 is beyond 79, and anything beyond 79 is in gaseous form. So that should represent model what? Model C. So therefore, we were supposed to have model C there. Then room temperature and pressure. Room temperature and pressure is about 25 degrees Celsius. So if you look at 25 degrees, where is 25? 25 should be between negative 114 and 79. So meaning it is still in liquid form. So model B would actually represent that. So if you can see, what we are doing there, that still here it is actually going to be represented by model B. Hopefully you got the concept of what I explained. You can still go back so that you can recheck that. Thank you so much for